Good Friday evening. Happy first day of summer and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. And it felt rather summer-like today with lots of sunshine out there. Temperatures not quite where we should see them for this time of year, but awfully close. And as I mentioned, blue sky out there and lots of sunshine as we look down at the monitor area and up towards the upper valley from our monitor camera, I should say, our Sky-Fi Tower camera. Beautiful day out there. We did still see some wind, though, with wind gusts around 25 miles an hour, but a lot less wind than we've seen most of this week, and that will be our trend as we head into our upcoming weekend. But this is the first day of summer. Didn't feel like it in a lot of places in central and eastern Washington. Sandpoint, Idaho, and then Panhandle, highs in the upper 50s there. Spokane saw some rain showers as well, with temperatures only around 60. Lewiston as well. Very cool. But here in the Wenatchee Valley, we saw plenty of sunshine with temperatures today in the middle 70s. And we will have your complete weekend forecast with a little bit of rain to tell you about next week. All that coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. In an effort to improve and support school safety and security, the Wenatchee School District, in collaboration with various law enforcement agencies, will be holding training exercises next week. And the Wenatchee Police Department is once again offering their Citizens Academy program in an effort to create a stronger partnership between the department and its citizens. But first, we begin tonight. It looks like it's going to take a lot more time now to secure daily commercial air service from the Wenatchee Valley to the San Francisco Bay Area. That was the news shared at this morning's Partners in Economic Development program hosted by the Chelan County Port District. Port Manager Jim Kuntz says the port has been in talks with several airlines over the last several months, but there have been no commitments yet. Meanwhile, Kuntz reported that the money raised to help lure an air carrier to the Wenatchee Valley remains secure, and existing air service to Seattle continues to improve.
So we have $1.1 million in the bank that now we are going to hunt down additional air service for this community. Boardings are doing well, 62,000 boardings a year, 7% increase over last year.
This morning's program at the Convention Center featured airline industry expert Jack Penning, who has been working as a consultant with the port in its airline recruitment efforts. Penning's firm, Valair Aviation Consulting, has worked for several regional airports across the country that have established similar campaigns. He cited as an example the Tri-Cities Airport's efforts to provide service to Los Angeles.
From the time we were awarded that grant until the time service started, it was a little more than 3 years. That's how long it took for us to finally convince a carrier, in this case United Airlines, that the business case was solid enough for them to take the risk, even with the grant available, to begin that service. We've had our grant for less than a year. So we're still in the infancy of getting this service started. It can take some time. And so patience is the biggest virtue when working on air service development. Virtually every route that you see on this map has a similar public-private partnership model to getting started.
But Penning also reported that the airline industry in general is experiencing some challenges going forward. He says pilot shortages are becoming an issue that could lead to future cutbacks in services. Well, in an effort to improve and support school safety and security, the Wenatchee School District, in collaboration with various law enforcement agencies, will be holding training exercises next week. NCWLIFE's Kyle Montgomery tells us more.
If it looks like Wenatchee High School is under siege next week, there's no need for concern. On Tuesday and Thursday, the Wenatchee Police Department will be holding active shooter training at the school. They'll be practicing scenarios that will include physically taking a resisting suspect into custody as well as searching for and apprehending active shooters. The training will be from 2 p.m. to midnight on Tuesday and from noon to 4 p.m. on Wednesday in the southeast corner of the school. The public is asked to avoid the area during the training. With NCWLIFE News, I'm Kyle Montgomery.
The Wenatchee Police Department is once again offering their Citizens Academy program in an effort to create a stronger partnership between the department and citizens. The free program will run from 6 to 9 p.m. every Wednesday starting August 28th through November 20th and is open to the public and those interested in learning more about law enforcement. The academy will be taught by police officers, department support personnel, and other criminal justice professionals. Information on a wide range of topics such as patrol procedures, domestic violence, career development, and much more will be taught throughout the 12-week program. Application forms can be found on www.wenatcheewa.gov and must be filled out by August 1st. Well, coming up next, construction is underway on a new skate park in Wenatchee. There were 105 wood stoves turned in for more than $26,000 earlier this month in Okanagan County as part of a state and local effort to reduce winter smoke in the mountain valleys. And authorities in Grant County are on the lookout for a little girl wanted for her gratitude and kindness. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Arctic Refrigeration and Heating has been serving North Central Washington for 34 years. Arctic provides the finest heating and cooling air quality products for residential and commercial customers, along with prompt and professional customer service. Arctic also offers specialty services like custom sheet metal fabrication of ductwork, coil cleaning, as well as planned fall and spring maintenance for the overall well-being of your system. Arctic is available for emergency calls 24/7. Call Arctic Refrigeration and Heating for your heating and cooling needs.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Welcome back. In another news, construction is underway on a new skate park in Wenatchee. The project is designed by local skaters and Grind Line and should be completed and ready to skate by the end of July. It's located near the pedestrian bridge and Hale Dog Park. Funding for the $279,000 project is coming from State Recreation Conservation Office and Washington Wildlife and Recreation Program, as well as Federal Land and Water Conservation Fund grants. The final phase of park construction includes restrooms, play equipment, picnic shelter, additional landscaping, and security cameras will get underway next spring. Well, there were 105 wood stoves turned in for more than $26,000 earlier this month in Okanagan County as part of a state and local effort to reduce winter smoke in the mountain valleys. The State Department of Ecology says people in Okanagan County are exposed to more smoke than anywhere else in the state because of summer wildfires and winter wood burning. The Air Quality Program in Central Washington teamed with local efforts to sponsor the buyback event June 5th and 6th. People received $250 for each old wood stove they turned in, which was funded by Ecology's Wood Smoke Reduction Grant Program. The stoves were collected at the TWISP transfer station and the county's central landfill. Authorities in Grant County are on the lookout for a little girl wanted for her gratitude and kindness. Officers with Grant County, Adams, and Moses Lake canine units were having dinner in a restaurant when the little girl approached and handed them a letter thanking them for their service. Now they'd like to thank her for the unsolicited praise, posting on Twitter, quote, "Liliana Pisano, thank you so much. You were a pretty amazing little girl. Ice cream for you and your family, on us," unquote. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's features story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
be a member to enjoy the view and dine-in style at Highlander Bar and Grill in East Wenatchee. Open 7 days a week, Highlander Grill offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dine in or take it to go, our friendly staff is here to serve you. Reservations recommended for Friday night's prime rib dinner. Call for live music dates. Hi, I'm Shalane, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
Dear Mary Maids, please clean the kitchen, and the cabinets, and the floors, and the chairs. And I wish you could clean the dog. Colin is now feeding himself. Thanks, Megan.
Hi, Megan. No worries. We got it all cleaned up. Let's hope Colin gets past the spaghetti flinging stage soon. Till then, we've got you covered. See you next time. Mary Maids.
If you want to work in healthcare, choose the program that teaches the skills employers want. The Charter College Medical Assistant Program combines hands-on learning in the lab with convenient online learning, plus real-life experience with an externship. Classes start every 5 weeks, so you don't have to wait to launch your new career. Enroll with confidence, knowing Charter is institutionally accredited by the Accrediting Bureau of Health Education Schools, and be ready to work in less than a year. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Today marks the first day of summer, which also means the return of noxious weeds in area yards and landscaping. In tonight's feature story, Bonnie Orr of Green Thumbs and Dirty Knees joined Dan Kuntz on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley this morning with tips on how to control those pesky goat heads and knapweed.
We're going to start out with the diffuse knapweed, and you've seen these all over North Central Washington.
Okay, and they are just starting to bloom right now.
Yeah.
I've seen them in the cracks in sidewalks. I've seen them up against fences, in alleyways. And this one, it is starting to spread, and we would really like to have this one controlled. It is easy to control this time of year. There's a rosette at the bottom. Now this one has already started to bloom, and most of them are. You need to pull it up before those seeds are set.
Okay.
Okay, and it's a matter of just being watchful on the perimeter of your property. One of the places I often see it is where the mail truck drives along. Or where the garbage truck goes along, because they just pick up the seeds as they make their rounds all over the city.
And that is how the seeds are spread.
Yeah, so and these things, you can literally pull them out of the ground counterclockwise.
They're actually easy to pull.
They're easy to pull.
They don't resist, and you and I are old school. When you have a weed, you pull it, you don't round up it and let it.
It's a waste of product.
Yeah, it is. It's a waste of product.
You know, the interesting thing about the weed seeds are so persistent. I had a 3-inch piece of tumbleweed Russian thistle that blew into my yard during the winter. And this spring, early on, I picked it up, that little bristly thing. There were 42 little plants under there out of that teeny piece.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, the seed productions is in the thousands for each plant.
And that's true of any noxious weed, almost by rule of thumb. Once they get a toehold, they go.
Yeah, because and they can be distributed, by the wind, too.
And of course, everybody knows goat heads.
Yeah, one of our least favorite everything.
I hate those things. I just hate
there
them.
it is. And it's already starting to spread, and it's probably just getting to that stage right now.
And just like the knapweed, they will grow almost anywhere that they can find a spot to go.
In disturbed land.
Yep.
And this one is really wonderful. You can roll it up, put on gloves. You roll it up, and then you just twist it out of the soil and put it in a plastic bag and put it in the trash.
How do you know it's a goat head before the goat heads actually develop so you can pull it early on?
Okay, so because this one has already started its outward tendril growth, it would just be the little center, part, and it's called a rosette.
And again, don't spray it with gunk, just pull it.
Yeah, because you know something?
Yeah.
If you spray it with gunk, the seeds are still there.
Yeah. That's the problem.
Even the half-ripe seeds will continue to ripen.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. But before we get to that, let's take a look outside our weather window on this first day of summer 2019. And boy, it looks like it out there, doesn't it? Lots of blue sky, a few high wispy clouds as we look down at the upper Wenatchee Valley from our monitor Sky-Fi tower camera. And up a little bit, you can see Kashmir up that way. Camera's moving around a little bit, still seeing some wind out there. Not quite as windy as what we've had for like the last 2 or 3 days here in the Wenatchee Valley, but still plenty of wind. Temperatures today a little bit warmer than yesterday, but still below where we should be for this time of year. 76 unofficially our high today. That's below 80, which is our normal high now for this time of year. 56, we were right on the money for our normal low temperature overnight. 100 was our record high set back in 1992. Record low 46 set back in 1981. We did pick up just a trace of precipitation overnight, a few sprinkles at the airport, but not enough to raise our total for the year as far as precip goes. We're still at 3.78. Sunrise this morning was at 5:04, and the sun will set tonight at 9:01. Now let's put your surface loop in motion and show you what we can expect over the next 6 and 7 days. Partly cloudy tonight, northwest winds 5 to 15 miles an hour. See lots of clear skies throughout the Pacific Northwest. Here's really the big area of low pressure that caused some shower activity, mainly in eastern Washington and into the panhandle of Idaho. As we make our way into the upcoming weekend, boy, things look nice. Mostly sunny for Saturday, a west breeze out there, a little bit warmer too. High pressure being squeezed down a little bit though. This area of low pressure moving down from the Gulf of Alaska is pushing the high pressure to our south, but that will still make for a pretty decent day on Sunday, even though our pressure gradient will tighten up once again and cause some windy conditions on Sunday. For Monday then, mostly sunny. We'll stay on the mild side. Lots of high pressure throughout the Intermountain West. And now we transfer over to our moisture map because we will see this area of low pressure begin to bring some clouds into north central Washington. Light wind and mostly sunny for our Tuesday, but things will change as we move into midweek next week with a 30% chance of showers. And notice all these little lightning icons. We could see thunderstorms next week, and boy, not good news for any new fire starts around north central Washington. As we move into Thursday, we're still going to be a little bit on the instability side or unstable side with partly cloudy skies and a 20% chance for showers Thursday. A little bit cooler than normal as well as we get into the end of next week. Let's take a look now at your quick lube and tune forecast. Tonight we'll drop down to once again 56 degrees. That's where we should be for this time of year. 80 degrees for your Saturday. It should be a great start to the weekend. 77 Sunday rather, 76 on Monday. And then our weather begins to turn by midweek next week. A 30% chance of rain on Wednesday, a 20% chance on Thursday. Highs both days at 75 degrees. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Being able to support yourself and your family is an important part of who we are. We all need to know we're able to provide ourselves with a secure future. Some job seekers have a harder time finding work. That's why Goodwill's Employment Connection Center is here, a free walk-in job search assistance program designed to help people find work. When you shop at or donate to Goodwill, you're really being a job creator, and that's a good thing for everyone's future. Goodwill. There's more behind the store.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Moving doesn't have to be back-breaking, stressful work. And I don't want you to make a move that way ever again.
Traditionally, you would rent a truck. You would load up your stuff. You would rent a storage unit. You would transport it. And finally, you would unload your stuff yourself. You don't have to lift a finger. We bring the mobile storage unit to you, we drop it off, then one of our trusted packers can load it for you. We come pick it up and store it securely for you. We bring it back to you. No hassle, no stress.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel. Hi, everybody. Dan Kuntz filling in for Eric Grandstrom, who's taking a well-deserved 3-day vacation. Let's talk about sports. As BJ Kuntz departs after 23 years of working at Wenatchee High School, she has some very definitive thoughts on how the school can be improved once she's gone.
My first thought is we're too big, and we have too many kids. So when you have 2,000 humans plus a couple hundred adults, there are times that I can walk through our building and be like, I have never seen that kid before, and how does that happen? So, you know, I think deep down in my heart, I say to myself, we're too big. And I think the other place where that gets us is if you really want to make sure that every kid has a positive human contact, I just feel like we're a little bit too big to manage that. So that would be part one. Part two, I'd love to see our facility get upgraded. I was a little spoiled in athletics, so even when the Apple Bowl was grass, I mean, we were known for being one of the nicest facilities in the state. Our athletic facilities really are, you know, the gym and those kind of things are outstanding. If I put my athletic director hat on, I would say we need a new track, we need tennis courts. Like, we need those things. That's part of showing that we take pride in our community and our facilities.
Of course, Kuntz has accepted the job as assistant director at the WIAA. She sees that as a very big step, but before she leaves, there are a few people that she wants to thank.
Obviously, I grew up in a family with 6 older brothers and 2 older sisters, right? So the love language in our house was sports and competition and sports and competition. And I remember a sign on the boys' bathroom at the house that said, no autopsy, no foul. And so I think starting with thanking my family, right, for building an environment where we compete hard, but we respect each other tremendously. I told my brother one time that he could, you know, kiss my butt and he'd shove me in a snowbank. So you learn really quickly the things that you do and you don't do. And that's really about developing that respect. So I have a lot of brothers and sisters that I think have been a part of this journey. A mom and dad who committed to this valley very deeply and thought beyond the valley, honestly. Just parents that really understand the value of commitment.
For the record, the sibling that shoved her into the snowbank was not me. I believe it was Eric. In any event, she hopes to be in her new position in Renton by the end of July. That's when they start running their coaches clinic. She'll work under Mike Hoffman, who's the brand new WIAA Executive Director. Mike Colbresi has announced his retirement. Let's talk about the Wenatchee Apple Sox. They're the hottest team in the West Coast League right now. They scored 7 times in the 3rd inning, and they sweep the Port Angeles Lefties 12-2. The final last night at Civic Field. The Sox win 5 of the 6 games this year against the Lefties. Quinn Ayers hit a grand slam to plate the final 4 runs of that 3rd inning, drove in 5 runs overall. James Kulak struck out 7 in 4 scoreless innings. Sam Wyatt pitched out in the final 5. Sox pitchers combined to strike out 38 batters over 3 games against Port Angeles. For the first time in the series, the Apple Sox failed to score in the 1st inning, but they did strike twice. An inning later, Hunter Montgomery walking. Then he was doubled in by Dylan McPhillips. 2 batters and a wild pitch later, McPhillips scored on a ground out by Ayers. And then the Sox sent 10 men to the plate, and they hung a 7 spot on the lefties in the 3rd inning. Cody Colden and Tyler Detloff led off with base hits. 2 batters later, Cole McKenzie had a base hit to left, and an error by lefties left fielder Ron Rust scored Colden. Detloff scored on a wild pitch after that. Montgomery drew his 2nd pass. 3 walks on the night for him. McPhillips also had a walk, and then Cody Darcy had a base hit scoring McKenzie, and then Ayers followed with his bases-clearing bomb over the center field fence for his 2nd home run of the season. 2 innings later, Darcy hit a solo home run that made it 10-0 Sox. Darcy's 2nd dinger of the year in as many days, his 6th RBI in the last 2 days. By the way, the lefties got their 2 runs via a 2-run home run in the 9th, but it was all over by then. Apple Sox have won 6 of their last 8. They have today off. They host the Highline Bears for a couple of games on Saturday and Sunday. Let's take a look at the Les Schwab scoreboard from West Coast League games last night. There's Wenatchee 10 running Port Angeles. As you can see, Bellingham got the better of Corvallis. Walla Walla over Portland. Victoria handled Yakima Valley, and Ridgefield, the new kid on the block, playing pretty good baseball. They beat Calais last night 63. The standings in the West Coast League look like this. We got a two-way tie at the top between Bellingham and Victoria. Yakima Valley 8.5 back. Of course, Wenatchee now with 7 and 8 on the year, climbing up. They were in the basement for a while. A lot of baseball still to be played, but not a lot of football left for the Wenatchee Valley Skyhawks. They hope to get back on the winning track tomorrow night. They're in the Tri-Cities. Wenatchee Valley 4-6. They'll take on the 0-8 Fire tomorrow night, 7 o'clock at the Toyota Center in Kennewick. After this weekend, the Skyhawks have just one game left, and that's against the Tri-Cities next Friday at 7 o'clock. Another loud night up at Fancher Heights Racing tomorrow night at the WVSO. The Dix Heating and Air Conditioning Twin 50s for the Pro Late models. You also got the Bump to Pass cars, the Road Runners, and the Street Stocks. By the way, it's First Responders Night. All first responders get in for free. All late responders have to pay double. The gates open at 4:30. Racing gets underway at 6. What's coming up this weekend? Lots. It's baseball, you know. The Apple Valley Blues will host the U16 Apple Valley Baseball Tournament. It's today, goes through Sunday at Historic Recreation Park. Eastmont Youth Baseball hosts the Eastmont Classic Baseball Tournament today through Sunday at the Eastmont Community Fourplex. World Cup Soccer, U.S. beats Sweden in the final game of pool play yesterday, 2-0 the final. Lindsey Horan scored the United States' first goal 3 minutes into the game. By the way, the U.S. will face Spain in the round of 16 Monday morning at 9 o'clock. The Seattle Mariners, Domingo Santana hit his third home run in 2 days. Wade LeBlanc gave the Mariners a big boost on the mound. And the Mariners beat the Orioles last night 5-2. Everybody beats the Orioles nowadays. Santana's homers helped the Mariners win back-to-back games for the first time since May 13th and 14th. Baltimore, on the other hand, has lost 9 straight, and they have just 3 wins for the entire month of June. Santana tied it at 2 with his 16th homer to right center field off Orioles starter Dylan Bundy. That was in the 6th inning. Kyle Seager and Mac Williamson followed with RBI base hits. The home run, by the way, came a day after Santana hit 2 homers over Kansas City. Wade LeBlanc wiped out another difficult start by a Mariner opener. He was very steady over 6 1/3 innings. He struck out 7. Seattle turned to reliever Taylor Scott to start the game. They didn't have too many options available, and Scott was bad. He walked 3 of the Orioles' first 5 batters, was pulled after throwing 13 balls on 23 pitches. LeBlanc gave up a 2-run base hit to Rio Ruiz. Then he recorded the 3rd out of the inning. Sat down the Orioles over the next six innings to keep the Mariners in the game. By the way, the Mariners openers have a combined ERA of 19.50. That's really bad. Roenis Elias, by the way, pitched the 9th inning for his 8th save. They'll play again today. Let's take a look at the American League West scoreboard before we call it a day here on this Friday. And there you go. Texas got the better of Cleveland yesterday. Yankees on top of Houston. It was Toronto over the Angels, and Oakland got the better of Tampa Bay. Houston's lead is now 7.5 over second place Texas. Those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Friday. Have a great weekend. Grant, back to you.
Nice work, Dan. Thank you. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. Also, keep it right here on the NCW Life channel Monday morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us, and have a great weekend.
NCW Life channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's learn. Guada TV. Street Talk and other stuff. The 12th District. Life with Lisa. And the Arbiter of Stoke. NCW Life channel is your local TV station.
I am Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We got news, we got sports, we got weather, we got obscure holiday, today in history, birthdays. Those actresses from the 70s that I had a huge crush on. Lindsay Wagner, Jane Russell, Meryl Streep, Barbara Bush. Wanted to wish her a happy birthday. It gave me an excuse to throw her picture up on my show. Exclusive distributors of Life Water. Now available in the shatterproof plastic bottle.
Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, mornings at 7 o'clock on the NCWLIFE channel.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to check out the NCW Movie Guide to keep up on what movies are playing in our town.